Ladies, gentlemen, and disappointments. We are coming to you live from the Woman Caves in New York and Connecticut. My name is Leslie.
And my name is Melissa.
And we are Verbally Disastrous. This podcast is copyrighted through the U.S. Copyright Office as well as the Writers Guild of America. Hey, it's Leslie here, and I'm here with my girl, Melissa.
What's up?
And we are discussing the documentary on Amazon Prime called Lot Lizard. What the hell is a lot lizard, you might ask? A lot lizard is a prostitute who frequents truck stop parking lots looking for customers. After dark, the lot lizards will come to your window. And if you don't know what a lot lizard is, it's a prostitute. If you don't know what a prostitute is, it is a woman or a man that will exchange their body and services thereof in exchange for whatever's jingling in your pockets. What do you think, Melissa?
Yep. See that truck? Give him a buck and you will get fucked.
The Lot Lizard documentary is a 2016 documentary on Amazon Prime. It's directed by Alexander Perlman. It follows some women sex workers working through truck stops throughout the United States. Approximately 3 million truck drivers go back and forth between coast to coast through the U.S., probably Canada and Mexico. There are approximately 5,000 truck stops that litter the entire United States. So this director, Mr. Perlman, he has thousands and thousands of hours where he trolled the truck stops for video footage of the lot lizards so that he could create this movie. And he decided to showcase 3 sex workers. One was named Betty, another character was named Monica, and another woman, Jennifer. So some of them felt empowered, if you recall. Then there was a truck driver that was wearing like a Air Force military top, and he was the boyfriend to Betty.
Right.
And Betty was the strictly business, transactional kind of woman.
Betty was pretty hardcore. She appeared to like have no feeling on anything she was doing.
She was strictly business.
And that's all it was for, to get by, to survive. That to her was her job.
And she had a huge fucking ego. Huge. With the marriage proposals and all the men want her.
I wouldn't look at it as a huge ego. One, she's addicted to drugs. And she's got to make herself like any other human being. She
still had her teeth, which was amazing.
Yeah, she did. She wasn't like the other woman who was blinded from syphilis. We'll get.
Oh, Sunshine, yes. So, we forgot about Sunshine.
I mean, you gotta.
And tequila.
Who knows if she really wants to be doing this? Is what she knows. It buys her drugs. It keeps her in that state of mind. If you have no wanting to change, and that's what she's going to do, she's going to keep it. She lived with her mother in a trailer. Yeah, she was hardened, very, very hard. And it looks like that. I was speculating that her mom was doing the same stuff. Did you pick up on that? Maybe at one point, or she just was just in poverty and raised her kids, because they didn't get really depth on where these girls came from. The background. The background. Was there anything on her siblings? Was there abuse? Anything? I mean, they briefly touched on Jennifer. Jennifer, of the 3, was the only one that was trying to reform herself. She went and got an apartment first, and then tried getting a job. Then she was complaining about having to go get a 40-hour-a-week job when she used to doing the old 40, 60, 80. Right, in the truck stop, which was easier. Yeah. It's not hard to get a job when it is hard to get a job, I'm sorry, when you have the skills. Where are you, man? It's hard. She was 3 months clean, and she was definitely getting the itch to go back. And that's hard with addiction, because you're never free from addiction. It just it's always a monkey on the back. Oh, we got to explain the 40, 60, 80 price schedule that we saw amongst the ladies. 40 was the mouth, 60 was straight, and 80 is everything. A la carte, do what you want. What I wanted to know is, when you're high as a motherfucker on drugs, do you ask for change? I don't know. I have to write down and remember what I said because I probably forget.
Well,
I totally forget. Well, how much did I charge you? All right.
you might have some truckers on credit.
Prostitute. Oh, God, that'd be so bad.
Well, we felt that the daughter, Isabella, who's Jennifer's daughter, she knew far too much about what Mama was up to.
For a 10-year-old, yeah. I don't know if it's things that she saw or heard from other family members. Because that's what I'm saying. They didn't go in depth. You don't know if this girl, Jennifer, was with somebody who said bad-mouthed her and said stuff, or the kid was there the whole time. I mean, the kid was with her. We don't know if she was ever taken
We weren't sure.
Or anything else. But.
No, but you could tell just during that documentary, she went from thinking, Mom's going to turn her ship around. She used to be the truck stop whore lot lizard, and now she's trying to be the housewife. But she had her whole operation where she went and got the apartment and then was looking through the want ads through, like, Craigslist. No, she was looking through, like, the paper.
The paper. But
Yeah.
remember, what year did you say this was? 2016?
No. Well, yeah, 2016.
When they filmed it.
It's when they filmed it, but I could have sworn... No, that was the other documentary.
Yeah,
Scratch that.
That was 2016, and when you don't have...
The daughter was disgusted with her.
And stuff, at the end part she was, because she thought she was doing good, and she said, my mother is a liar.
Well, because
that's hard, I think, for anyone to hear from a 10-year-old.
Then there was the chaplain.
You know.
Remember the woman, every time she'd have a bad day, when she got the job, then she had the bad day, then she was talking to the chaplain and crying on his shoulder and like, I just want to smoke some crack. I'm having a tough day.
That's addiction, and like you said, we all vent to each other.
Yeah,
that's who she had to go to.
I can't imagine being like, listen, I got to get back on the crack pipe, you know? The way she was gazing lovingly to the truck stop.
It's the same thing with alcohol.
I want to be back.
If you stop drinking and then shit happens, you want to drink. I'm a smoker. A lot of the times, it doesn't benefit me in any way possible. I get aggravated, stressed out. I want to go have a cigarette. To me, it calms me down when it really probably doesn't.
So it's a blessing to have that as your crutch and not have...
Compared to that stuff, yeah.
I have empathy for the woman for trying, and it's a battle because it's fast money.
It's real fast money. Tax-free money.
And you don't have to look a certain way, unlike the strip club. You don't have to work the pole.
I don't want to be mean, but it's pretty dark in
the trucker pole, but...
What the hell you look like?
Well, they could look... Can you honestly say that some of them look like they could make any money if they were in a strip club? Hell to the no. It's the darkness outside the Kenworth. underneath the wheel, the 18-wheeler.
She's got some shit going on, but these women, I mean, they've been out for a while, so, I think time took a toll on the skin. Time was not kind. The one who had the brutal... I like that.
Time was not kind. And you got Sunshine, who was blind. She was still out there working feeling the way along the side of the truck to get into the cab.
Yeah, she was. That was.
She had blindness from syphilis.
Like I carried away. Yeah, she was just like.
That woman, God, could you imagine? They said she was like 42. Meanwhile, she looked 82.
She looked very old, and I showed you that picture when she was young. I think that gentleman said she was around there.
18.
She was 18 years old.
Yeah, she started when she was young.
18 years old.
And then obviously, when you're doing the 40, 60, 80 schedule, you're not gonna have medical.
Yeah, it's just sad scene, but I mean it's there, and these people, they got to make money, and they're not going to go for a regular job. With addiction, you probably can't. You'd be running out the door looking to get high.
Well, remember Moody Monica?
Oh my God, she was wired.
She went from lovey-dovey with her being all shacked up in that little hotel with her boyfriend Bobby.
They had it was just a dysfunctional relationship. Break up, get back, get high, love each other, beat each other up, get high, get high.
Yeah, she was throwing the shots. We never, in all fairness, we never saw Bobby throw hands.
No, Bobby never put hands up. She was like ready to clock him.
One minute she was lovey-dovey, next minute it was like, get the out of my face.
But at the end, she's on the phone with him, and he actually, it sounded like this time he might have been. It
was over.
He was like,
he came to that realization probably because he had a camera staring at his face, like this is never going to get better.
Well, he said it to her.
Yeah.
But she also said that he's done this plenty of times and blah blah blah.
And turned it around and came back because that's what he knows.
They ended it with like just.
Well, they have a what do you call it? A codependent relationship.
Oh yeah.
It was toxic codependence. He was loving to her, and then she would be nasty towards him. I mean, we didn't really see the relationship with Betty and her boyfriend Other than in the beginning when the guy goes,
All
I
I
gave
know
this
is
crack whore my
she-
keys.
She wore the pants in that relationship.
Oh, most definitely. Betty, remember Betty? They were
wasn't
talking to
having
each
it.
other, and then the cameraman is focused on truck driver man. I don't even remember his name. And then behind him, she was making a deal with one of the truck drivers. It's like, oh my God, this got to be humiliating.
To us, we might
Yeah.
feel that way, but to
Yeah.
them, like she said, it's a job. They have to eat, they have to get high, they have to survive, and that's where they get their money from. It's all cash money.
No
All cash
taxes.
money.
They do not pay the tax man.
No, lucky them.
They're not getting the
that's
stimulus
the only
either,
reason why
though.
They made it illegal because they don't pay the taxes, man. Otherwise, it'd be perfectly fine if they got it cut. But,
Yeah, the tax man. I'm surprised he does not want his money.
So all you know out there, me and Leslie like our documentaries. We like to sit, have a couple cocktails.
Oh, yes.
And just see what's going on with
Yes.
this real stuff.
The evening beverage while we were contemplating this documentary and discussing is Grey Goose and Bailey's with a crunchy fudge covered Oreo.
Which are delicious.
It's deliciousness. Now, when we were looking at stats, they're one of the truck drivers made a very important point where he was saying, you know, how like people look down on truckers and truck stops, and how he was saying 80% of the country relies on the trucking industry. And if the truck stopped, then the entire supply chain as we know it would come to a halt. So people don't realize their dependence on the trucking industry, but they most certainly do.
Big time, and that's a rough job. You're alone. It's late. You're tired. You know, you're lonely.
Then we got a kick out of those women that got on the CB radios that were advertising their services, where they were trying to say it without saying it.
And everybody knew they were saying it without saying it. They all have their code words.
Yeah.
You know,
They were using a massage, free massage.
Free massage. I'll give you a massage, and you know, I'll meet you by the Mustang. Everyone knew what that meant. You know.
Yeah, and then they had Monica said she never turns a trick. What the hell did that mean? Remember when she said that?
I took it when she said she never turns a trick. Never, I guess, approached a guy.
Oh no, turned it down, right?
No. I mean, like rob him. I mean, when she said turn a trick,
I don't know what
took it
turn a
like
trick
rob him.
means.
Go in there, say you're gonna do something, and then run with his money without doing it.
Oh,
And
like a
that-
Cardi B,
I don't know about Cardi.
allegedly.
I don't know. I don't know. That.
See now.
You lost me on that one. Stick to what I know, Leslie.
Stick
No,
to what I know.
I don't know Cardi B shit. Okay.
Well,
so-
apparently she told people that back in the day when she was a stripper, she would rob these dudes of their money, like drug them and rob them.
Good for her.
I know, right? Well, the one lady, she was
But that,
Betty.
Wait a minute. Get back to that. That was just my perception. It might be the wrong definition of what she meant, but that's what I took it as because she's already in there, you know, having sex with him for money. So some people would say, okay, that's the trick. But I look.
I
at the
thought it's a trick.
No, I look
Trick or treat.
trick or treat.
You get
I
smell
took
my
what she
feet.
said trick as being, you know, she didn't, you know, like rob anybody or fuck anybody over without doing her service.
Yeah, like it's a fair exchange, cash for goods.
Well, maybe she should make it a fair exchange. I don't know.
I'm gonna have to look up what a turning the trick means. Well, unfortunately, well, do you remember cinnamon?
Pure perception.
Do you remember cinnamon and tequila?
Yeah, they were briefly on there.
Well, Cinnamon looked like she was young in the game, like she had just gotten started, and she has no idea how hard it's going to turn her over time. Like, she's pre-STDs.
I mean, okay, I wonder, do you think people, I'm not talking about, you know, working in a nice club and dressing real hot and sexy and having, you know, like stripping like that, in their environment where it was just in a truck, you know, it's a dark lot, there's trucks all over, you can't see anything. Do you think anybody, I don't know, could you do that without being high?
Fuck no.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd have to be high as a kite, and then I would probably not make change, forget to ask for change. Then I'd have to have some truckers on credit from like,
well,
you know,
gotta
20
wait,
years ago.
That we know you're going to be doing shit like that, you better have the cash up front and on the dashboard at least.
I feel uncomfortable
So you
on the
can-
first date, first
Drop your
2
panties
dates.
in your pocket, grab your shoe, and run. And just
Run.
take that money off
It's
the
just
bag.
like so uncomfortable. Like the thought, I mean, we joke around about it, but can you imagine doing that? Like that's your livelihood, like that's your only way. I don't look at that. I'll never look at that as my only way to do anything in life. I'd rather bust my ass in a trench,
That's what makes the world go
hang
round.
rock.
Different people, different things.
sheetrock, not crack.
Like I said, that's why they're basically their beginning of life. We don't know. They didn't really get in depth on that. Did they have a parent who do it? Were they left on the street? Were they abused? You know. And
Well, they all had
that happens.
terrible stories, but terrible stories doesn't mean you have to
Like, same thing with weeds. When you grow
go
up,
lick a wee-wee
you're
for a
raised-
buck.
You end up kind of sometimes raising your children the way you were raised. You do what you know, and then as you get older, you make more decisions.
Yeah, the
for yourself,
power
and
of your
things change.
environment, yeah.
But
There
it
is a
was-
power.
It was worth a watch. It was pretty wild. We had our little jokes here and there. It was
Of
just
course.
harmless fun. It wasn't being bad. Sometimes you have to giggle.
No, at the end of the day, we joke around, but I think we're very much into people having their hustle and supporting themselves, and that's key, because you have to sustain your life, and if you chose to have
and-
kids,
and-
you need to
and-
take care of them.
Right.
So
And that's just how they did it, right or wrong, good or bad. You know, I'm not judging Jerry, but it
well,
was-
we are judging, but
No,
we let them live their life.
disgusting.
We're disgusting.
I'm not saying bad or good. I'm not saying you're
No.
a dirty rotten hoe because you do that. Honest, you know.
Yeah, no,
You do
we-
what you got to do. Some of it I thought was sad. Just to have
It's
to be
sad.
that high, you could see
It's
it.
disgusting, some of it,
Yeah, it's
because you
sad.
see some of the truckers and you're like,
I'd be a broke
oh,
prostitute, 'cause I'd be like,
broke,
ew,
very
next,
selective.
Ew, next,
No,
ew,
oh
next.
yeah, no, you, because you got to see Melissa with the dating profile. She's constantly swiping left. I can't picture you going, yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You must have an addiction. You've got to be high. And I'm no Raven Beauty. I'm not saying that. I just, you know.
I got,
you know, sticky or just,
yeah.
I'm just like, whatever.
You got to be able to, like what you see when you're staring at that mushroom lollipop. At the end, it made us feel, the documentary made us feel that Jennifer was gazing lovingly out into the truck stop while she was doing her laundry, that she was going to get back in the game because she was already sliding into it, because she did admit to that chaplain that she hit the pipe. Like, yeah, so what? It's a big
No,
deal.
she went back to smoking. She was still smoking pot.
Oh, I thought she was hitting the crack pipe.
Did she say she smoked crack? I know
She said something
smoked
about
pot.
breaking out. She broke her sober streak.
Oh, that's
Because the daughter is the one who found the crack pipe in the closet. Like the girl, Isabella, knew far too much about what Mama
I
had
thought
up going
the
on.
pipe she found was for her weed because she never stopped smoking the weed. That she has said to. She was still smoking.
Well, if she was still
She
smoking
told-
it, she wouldn't have had a breakdown then.
I think she told her daughter that she wasn't smoking weed, and she was. And then I guess when she was looking out, if she gets hooked back down those drugs, you know what she's doing. She's going back.
She's going the whole slide.
Going
Well,
back to that lifestyle.
she was crying when she was looking at the want ads about the $300. Well, she felt guilty. That's what I kind of presumed. She felt guilty because of her past.
Yeah.
And the crack pipe.
Yeah, she was a lot of it had to do with addiction. That shit was crazy.
Yeah, well, you when you feel good, I could see when you're smoking the crack, and you're doing the truck stop stuff, and then all of a sudden you turn it around, you stop, you get your daughter back, or I don't know if the
That's the whole
daughter.
thing.
We don't know. It was kind
I
of
don't wanna
vague.
Speculate. Yeah, you don't know if she had her the whole time or she didn't, or maybe the kid was with family and she just got her back. Who knows?
I mean, she went for the fast. That was the fast money to try to get away from that. And you could already tell she felt bad that she had to go do an honest job that didn't pay very much. So you already could tell from the gate that she was set for that free fall, that downward slide.
Well, between not realizing
To go
what
back
we
on
go
that
through
rock
with
as a lizard.
age and work, and then
Yeah, it's none of it's easy.
You're not getting high. That's the rough part. That's worse than having to deal with. Wow, I could have made this in one night what I'm making in a week.
Well, that equally sucks. I mean, it's probably the drugs almost makes it to where you go, well, I need this. I got to go back out and get the money because the money that I'm making isn't enough. So let me go, slob
Go
on a
back
mushroom
to that
lollipop.
because you got to get high.
Yeah.
That's what a hold that shit has on people. It's sad.
Well, it's the fast money and the high.
That's too much.
But I overall, you felt sorry for I felt sorry for every one of them. And the guys, they were out on the road, and you realize for them, I don't know, does it take you a couple months to be out on the road and away from your family to go, yeah, she looks hot, you know, the lot lizard. Whereas normally you'd be like, nah, I'm going home tonight to my family. Buzz off.
I don't think guys are looking at them like, okay, that's hot. They want to get your rocks off, so you don't have to fuck it or kiss it. I mean,
that's extra.
No.
Well,
but you don't have to do
you're
that.
fucking it, but you don't have to kiss it.
So a guy doesn't have to. Here's your money, blow me. I mean, you're looking at it. You're not engaging in intimacy with this
or an
person.
Emotional piece. Well, it is.
To
me, that's intimacy.
Not when you're doing a
but
job
it's business.
like that.
It's business.
Not when you're doing a job like that.
Yeah.
So you want to get your rocks off? Here's $50. You don't even look at them. She starts blowing them. You're done. Bye bye.
He doesn't even have to make sure she's out the door. He doesn't even have to put money on the dresser or get her a cab. It's like kick her out the side of the cab.
Yeah, you just gotta walk down 2 steps and get it.
Walk to. Bye bye. What was the name of that truck driver that we found on YouTube when I was trying to find info? Blake, the guy was talking about the lot lizards where he looked like a new truck driver.
Oh, that guy was funny.
Yeah.
Was funny. And
yeah.
He was like, no, I was going home.
I'm staying away from that stuff. Because the girl was trying to charge her phone in his car, and then in his cab, so it went from charging the phone to, it's cold out here, can I get inside?
It was funny.
And then like, hey, how about $40 for my mouth? No.
So have we figured out what documentary we want to do next?
Yes. That is the Jack the Ripper. Well, it's the Yorkshire Ripper, which is
Ripper, but we got to do the women serial killers.
Yes.
That'll be our next little round.
Yes.
Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed our
absolutely
conversation. More to come, and I'm sure we'll get better at it.
Yes. Thank you for listening, and as always, if you'd like to see more content, go to YouTube, Soundtrap, www.constructiontales.com. Thank you, and have a good evening.
Bros and hoes!
Hoes! This wraps up another episode on the Verbally Disastrous podcast that can be found on over 20 podcast platforms, including Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Deezer, Pandora Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. For more information, head over to our website at www.constructiontales.com. I thank you for listening and have a great day. This podcast is protected through the U.S. Copyright Office as well as the Writers Guild of America.